Hi everyone, today I'm talking about the stockbroker Degiro, and this is my review for Degiro in 2019. I've talked about Degiro in previous videos, and it's a stockbroker that I've used and I've recommended for a long time, but I thought I'd do a review for 2019 and talk about how I feel like the stockbroker is doing, kind of any useful information if you're looking to get a stockbroker in the UK, and hopefully this video helps you if you are looking to use them. Now I'm going to review quite a few key features with Degiro. And then I'm going to talk about things that they could improve on if I recommend using it. And I'll also try and compare it to some other stockbrokers that are available in the UK. Now, Degiro itself has kind of based itself on having cheap fees. That's always been its selling point. But it's very useful, especially for a lot of younger investors as well, because it does have the desktop version, which is very useful, and it also has a mobile app version. Now, personally, I always use the mobile app version. It's a lot easier, a lot quicker for me to place trades and also look at a lot of information and look into my stock portfolio. So the app itself is pretty good, and the website itself is pretty good, and I'll talk about the app itself and a little bit more detail about that in a little bit. But the main selling point for Degiro over the last few years has been the fees. Now the fees still cost a tiny bit, but when we compare to a lot of other stockbrokers out there, especially in the UK, the fees have been somewhere around £10 for a trade, which is very expensive. When you're trying to get into a position in the stock market, if you have a broker like Barclays, for example, I think theirs is something like £10. If you place a trade with Barclays, your position has to make over £10 just to cover your broker's fee. Whereas Degiro is so much cheaper, and that's been its main selling point. Now, we've had free trade, which is coming to this area a little bit, and if you want to see more information about free trade, I have a video review on the stockbroker free trade somewhere else on the channel, which is very useful if you're looking into them as well. But for so long, Degiro has been the cheapest fees out there, and is still one of the cheapest stockbrokers in the UK out of there. So I've given the fees 8 out of 10. The stocks itself that are available on Degiro are pretty good. There's a vast amount of stocks available. For me, it's got probably most of the stocks that I need to invest in. If you're looking at kind of getting some stocks that are not well known, some of them might not be available on the app, but for me, a lot of the stocks that I look into are there. There's a lot of stocks from around the country that you can look at, so if you're looking at getting into stocks from Japan or stocks that are on the stock market in Italy or France or what have you, there's a lot of them stocks available on the app itself. But for me, the most stocks that I get into are on the New York Stock Exchange, so all them stocks available that I need. If you are looking into options trading, I do believe that options trading is available on there, and I think margin trading is also offered if you are looking and getting into it. But for me, every stock that I've ever wanted to buy has been on that stockbroker. So for me, I have to give it 10 out of 10 because it's got all the stocks that I do need to invest in. The app itself, now most people, I think, are now probably investing using apps on the phone, and the app and the website are pretty good, and they're pretty basic and quite easy to move around, and this is something they've actually worked on over the last year, 2 years, and I would have given the app a lot lower over the last, 2 years, 1 year, but this year especially, the platform is really smooth. It works really nicely. On the app, it has the upcoming dividend tab now, which is really useful to see when dividends coming in from the stock that you own. So that's a really good addition that added in over the last year. It's still, if you're looking to research into news and look at graphs of a stock, that still could do with a lot of work, and that's the only thing that stops it from getting 10 out of 10. But the app itself is really easy to use. I enjoy using it. Placing trades quite simple as well. But like I say, for me, just if they could improve the graphs and the news that you can get from there from companies, that would be the next step for them. But that's okay, because you can go to Yahoo Finance or CNN News, or there's other apps out there for you to use to research them stocks or look at graphs. Bank transfer is something that I always find really important when using a stockbroker. The reason why is because if you want to get money out of your account quickly because you need it, or if you want to buy some stocks and you don't have the money in the account, it's really important that you can get that money into that account pretty quick. Now, if you have money if you just want to keep money ready in your brokerage account, you can do that. I think you are insured for up to 10,000, so if you were looking to have more than 10,000 in your brokerage account in cash, just be careful that I don't think it would be insured. So if you were looking to invest money into your bank, into your stockbroker very quickly, the normal kind of transfer days is something like 3 days. It says 3 to 5 days, but it normally takes somewhere around 3 days for it to transfer in, which isn't too bad. Obviously, it would be nice if it was a little bit quicker, if it was kind of like, you know, 1-2 days or the same day kind of thing, and then you could get the money if a stock went down loads and you were trying to buy that stock really quickly. Obviously that would cause a problem, but if you're kind of patient and you kind of, you know, just put some money in at a time and then buying a few stocks, you can do it over kind of a 3 day ratio. And with the withdrawals from the Degiro, that normally again takes somewhere around 3 to 5 days. So I'm giving that 7 out of 10, just because if I would like to have money go in and out of the brokerage account a little bit quicker, that's my only kind of like thing that I would like them to work on the most. That's the thing that I believe that Degiro could improve the most, is how quick they transfer that money in and out of your brokerage account. But it's not too bad. It's kind of the standard, you know, 3 to 5 days that pretty much everywhere kind of really has overall. Degiro, I haven't put like the help, the customer support kind of down, but that is also pretty good. So I'd probably give that 10 out of 10 if I did have that written down on the board. But Degiro itself, for me, is still the best stockbroker that you can use if you are from the UK. It's still pretty much the cheapest fees out there. It has a very broad amount of stocks, and it's quite easy to use and for the app to use, and great customer support. For me, one thing that I'd watch out for is maybe next year, with free trade now on the horizon and them kind of going into Degiro's market about, you know, having low fees, they could be one to watch for next year. I have used Degiro for like the last 3 years, but free trade is one that could potentially affect Degiro over the next year, so it might be worth checking next year, and I'll update you with the stockbroker that I'm using, but they could potentially come into this kind of area. But for me right now, over the next, you know, year, 2019, Degiro is still the #1 app I would use for stock market investing if you're from the UK. I hope this video helped you if you are looking at getting into a broker, if you were in the UK and looking at stock market investing. If you could give the video a like, that'd be amazing. Subscribe as well, that'd be super. And we are getting towards 300 subscribers, so if we could get there sometime soon, that'd be amazing. So thank you for that, and I'll see you on the next video.